Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm coming to you today from my cell phone. I'm having major issues with my normal camera, so if it looks slightly different, that's why. So anyways, in today's video, I wanted to discuss with you guys ways that you can increase your productivity next week. I am not always a highly productive person. Sometimes days or weeks go by and I really feel like I'm just dragging and not getting as much done in a day that I really am capable of. But even when I fail, I try to get back up and get productive again. I think it is a bit easier now that it is almost spring. It is starting to warm up. The sun is out much longer and I'm just ready to get a little bit more productive. And my inspiration for this video was this concept that I heard once a long time ago in an audiobook from Zig Ziglar, where he talks about the day before vacation. So think about the last time you went on a trip and try to think about the day or two before you left for that trip. You were probably super productive. You got so much done in that day before you went on vacation. And imagine if you could be that productive on a day-to-day basis, not just the day before vacation. Or I'd actually extend this also to the day you are back from vacation, because we have been traveling for 5-6 weeks. And these first days where we are back to work have been so highly productive. We have been getting so much done and just been really motivated. So that's a long enough intro. Let's get into 5 things that I do to increase my productivity, things you can try, and you might be able to double your productivity this week. Number 1, write it down on paper. Whatever it is that you need to get done, write it down on paper. The way that I would do this is take my major goals for the week. Say you're doing this on a Sunday night, write down your major goals for the week and then break it down what you can get done one day at a time. So say you're going back to school this fall and you're thinking, I would love to get my college application done by the end of this week. Now I'm sure you already know the tasks you need to complete in order to get this done. Maybe you need to get a letter of recommendation, you need to write a cover letter, you need to rewrite your resume, whatever it is that you need to do, break it down into steps so it's more tangible and you'll feel the progress. So say Monday I'm going to get the letter of recommendation and Tuesday I'm going to do this, and you get the point. Break it down for yourself into smaller steps. I personally like to do this writing at night because I am a night thinker. I'm the person who gets a lot of good ideas right before I fall asleep at night, and in the morning I'm kind of dragging and my brain is kind of slow. So I like to write down my tasks for the next day the night before. It helps me wake up with a purpose. I can just jump out of bed and know exactly what I need to do, and that is huge for my productivity. Second thing you can do is recognize Parkinson's law. If you haven't heard of Parkinson's law before, it is the concept that work expands to fill an allotted time. So basically, if you give yourself 6 months to complete a task, it will take you 6 months. If you give yourself 2 weeks to complete a task, it will take you 2 weeks. And I think a lot of the times we give ourselves longer deadlines than is really necessary. I know I do this all the time. Sometimes I give myself a month to do something that I could really do in a few days. And I think it's easy to kind of beat yourself up and be like, I'm procrastinating, why am I putting this off? When really this is common. That's why it has a name, Parkinson's law, because almost everybody experiences this. If you give yourself a lot of time to complete something, it's going to take longer. So recognize that this exists and get a little bit more realistic, a little bit more aggressive with the deadlines that you set on yourself. Third thing you can do this week to be more productive is to email less. You need to recognize that your email inbox is actually other people's to-do lists, other people's priorities. So every time you are in there answering and helping other people out, you're probably taking away from what you really need to get done this week and what your priorities are. I think the best way to fix this problem is to check your emails at set times during the day, whether that's 3 times, morning, afternoon, night, or twice a day or once a day. It kind of depends on your work schedule, your work environment. But I once worked with a brand and the lady always emailed me consistently between 3 and 3:30. I was emailing back and forth with her for almost 2 weeks setting something up, and every time I would email her, I would not hear back from her until the next day around 3 or 3:30. So I'm assuming that this lady definitely had this kind of schedule set up, and I was actually quite used to it, and I knew when I could expect a response from her, which actually made her extremely easy to work with. And I want to point this out because probably if you have a job, you're thinking, hey, I need to email as fast as possible. I need to get back to these people right away, when really that is not the only way. If you kind of have a set schedule, people will get used to it. And this of course allows you to spend more time working on your priorities instead of just reacting to everything that comes into your inbox. Fourth thing I love to do to get more productive is to finish every task once I have started it. A lot of the times there are so many things going on, right? We're all busy, we have a lot of things going on, and you can do multiple things at once, but really when you start something, take it all the way to the end before you start something else. I'm sure you can relate to this. Maybe you were writing a paper and you get halfway and you could keep going, but you're kind of bored, you kind of want to give yourself a break, so you go and you work on something else, and then you don't manage to get back to that paper that day, and then it drags on, and really you could have just sat down and focused and got it completely finished. So a lot of the times I'm getting bored with something and I don't want to do it anymore. Not necessarily because it's challenging, but I just want to do something else to switch it up. I try to remind myself, just get it done, get it out of the way. You started it, finish it, then your mind will be much more clear and you can move on to the second task with a much more focused mind. Number 5, last thing that I do all the time to increase my productivity, this was a really, really big one for me, is minimizing chores, because I am a person, I love to clean, I love to organize. If you guys have been watching me, you guys definitely know that about me, but sometimes I use that as an excuse to not be productive, because I go, oh, I need to do the laundry. Oh, I need to clean the kitchen. I need to clean out the refrigerator. I need to declutter my makeup drawer. And then I feel like I'm being productive because I'm doing something, but it's more of kind of a chore than something that's really getting me ahead, that's getting me closer to my dreams and my goals for 2018. So at the start of the year, my husband and I told ourselves that we are only going to clean on Sunday and Wednesdays, and that goes for laundry as well, only Sunday, Wednesday. So if either of us are working and kind of start going, I should go tidy up the kitchen, or I should throw in a load of laundry, we look at each other and say, it has to wait till Wednesday. It has to wait 2 more days. It doesn't matter. Keep doing what you're doing. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it was actually super, super important for our productivity, especially because we work from home where you can always find so many things to distract yourself with. Setting yourself a schedule for cleaning, for chores, for errands, so they don't kind of just take over your life is really important. You can kind of picture this analogy when it comes to chores and what's important and what's small and what's big. I was once listening to an audiobook by Covey, and he was describing big rocks and small rocks. So the small rocks are all those things like cleaning, ironing, laundry, doing small little errands, all those things that you kind of distract yourself with, but you can pat yourself on the back and go, I'm being productive. So imagine those are the small rocks, right? And the big rocks are the things that are critical for your self-development, for achieving your goals, for your long-term success and happiness. So that would be things like, having your budget meeting and setting your budget, and working out and working on your health, personal development, and improving your skills, and all these kinds of things that are really important. Those are the big rocks. But if you have a jar and you put all the little rocks in first, so you do all those little tasks first, if you try to fit those big rocks in, you're not going to have any room in this jar anymore. But if you put the big rocks in first, so you work on your self-improvement, you work on your health, you work on your family and your relationships, and you put those things first, and you pour the little rocks on top, they're going to fall into place, and there's room for everything. But if you do those little rocks first, it's really, really going to be challenging to get those big things in the jar. I hope I described that well. I'll link down below the audiobook where I listened to that analogy. He described it much better, but that's the concept. And I definitely keep that in mind whenever I focus too much on the little rocks. I'm like, Sarah, you've got it backwards. You got to do the big rock things first. Even though you feel like you're being productive, it is not in your best interest. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed these tips. 5 ways you can get more productive this week. Do you have something that you do? What are your tips? What are your hacks? I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Also, I have a newsletter and a website. I should point that out as well. Every single Monday morning, I send out a newsletter, so an email directly from me, including an insider video and links to things that are going on, and just a little note of motivation from me. So if you aren't signed up for that already, you can sign up right here and down below. I've been getting really good feedback on the emails. You guys seem to be really enjoying it, and it makes me so, so happy. So get off of YouTube, go be productive, get more done this week, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!